Hi, everyone. Today I wanted to talk about collaboration and its importance. And I know that this topic is not a new topic. It's something that, especially during COVID, when we were all stuck in our homes and couldn't really interact in an office setting, that was always talked about, and it was the collaboration tools that we use was hugely important. Today that's no different. I mean, a lot of companies have mandated people come back to the office. People have done that willingly, but a lot of people are still working from home. And so collaboration has become more and more important in today's world. It always has been, but the fact that we are so now fragmented, it's become even more important to do, and it can be harder to do. But we have the technology, we have the tools to facilitate a lot of this. But if we are only depending on technology to do this, then I think we're all doing ourselves a disservice. I think there are things that we need to do as humans that connect us to each other, and why and really take advantage of the benefits of collaboration. So a lot of the companies that I have worked for throughout my career, I've had varying degrees of ability to collaborate with and amongst each other. I really believe that every team should be cross collaborating. It is not the idea of silos and having very limited interaction between the different disciplines within a business is detrimental to any corporation. I think that there are so many efficiencies that are lost in the fact that there some teams may expect the leaders to talk among each other and figure things out and tell them what they should be doing. But there should be a level of autonomy that leadership gives their teams that allows them to go and do the things that they need to do their job better. If engineering needs to talk to marketing or marketing needs to talk to engineering, let them figure that out, because only good things can come out of that. If product marketing needs to talk to someone in the sales department to get information so that they can create better content, let them go do that. There should be no channels between each of these groups preventing them from speaking to each other. There should be access to all of these things so that the best work can be done. So why does it matter for success? First of all, it spurs innovation. If we are all working in silos, we're the same types of people are speaking to each other. You all have this one mission that you're trying to accomplish, is make money for the company. If you're all in these silos doing individual work that is not cross-pollinating, that you're not talking to your peers and other groups, it can be very limiting to innovate that way. Sales should be hearing what the customer says, bringing it back to the product team so that things get on the product roadmap. Engineering should be also talking to the customer so they understand what is needed for the product. All of these, finance should be talking to different groups to figure out how can we reduce costs. I mean, there's so many benefits to doing this cross collaboration that spurs innovation. It's also more efficient. Like, you're not waiting for certain gatekeepers to get information to certain other individuals. If you have the freedom to talk to others, to your other peers across groups, you can be much more efficient in your work. You're not waiting for the trickle down effect, or you're not waiting for someone to approve your request to go talk to someone. It also helps us to problem solve a lot faster. If we know what the problem is and you're always just waiting on one person to go and talk to someone else, you should have the freedom to go talk to that directly to that person and figure out what the problem is. If there's a problem between groups, let's talk about it. Collaboration is nothing but goodness for the company, and we should be facilitating it as much as we can, not just through emails, but through, if like, say, if I'm in marketing, so if I have a project plan of what's going to be happening over the next year, I need to inform that plan with what is happening in engineering, what's happening in sales. I need to have all of these inputs across to figure out what is the best plan for the company. How are we going to achieve our goals in the most streamlined way? And that project plan should be available to the entire company. I want them to see when press releases are going to be coming out. Maybe not necessarily the topic, because that can be a little, iffy. But if you have a campaign that's going to come out, you want people to give feedback. You want people to say, "Hey, we can make it better this way." That kind of input really elevates everything. We want to make sure that the feedback is both good and bad, not always bad, because that's not helpful. You also collaboration teams that collaborate more than others will have higher employee satisfaction. So, working at a company where you're allowed to go talk to whomever you need to in order to get your work done, and if you think that that doesn't exist, that there are silos and that there are gates, it does exist. So, it helps the employee feel empowered, that they have the ability to go do things on their own and accomplish things on their own without having to get approval through every single chain of communication. So, the other thing with collaboration, so those are the why it matters for company success. Let's talk about how you make collaboration work. So, the first thing is that you have to have a shared goal and vision. This starts at the top. What are we trying to accomplish? Obviously, the CEO and the leadership team will set the direction for the company. And then a lot of companies have OKRs that trickle, that trickle down, that help support that goal. But you should also have a shared vision across groups. How are you going to work together? Open up those channels of conversation, the cross communication. Everyone should have Everybody should have their own goals on how they're going to achieve the corporate goals, and they all need to be aligned. Pet projects, all of those things, those need to be on the back burner until the corporate goals are achieved. Also, do inclusive decision making. So, if you have a decision to make, don't do it in isolation. A lot of times that can be a very bad thing because you looking at it from a myopic view. You're not considering all of the other options that may exist out there, and by working cross-functionally to make decisions can actually open your eyes up to new opportunities that you hadn't thought of before. Or you can use a relationship that someone in another group has been harvesting, and use that for whatever the project is that you're putting forth. So having that ability to make decisions across functions is a great way to do things more efficiently and have more solutions than you would if you were doing this on your own. We also need to recognize people who are being really good communicators. If you can give props to someone who is just killing it with their collaboration, let them know, and let other, make a big deal of the fact that this person is getting so much done because they are leaning on their teammates and they're working cross-functionally. So there's a lot of things that we can do in order to increase collaboration, but having common platforms where we all have access to certain things. You don't need to have editor access. It could just be viewing access, but make sure people have the right roles for what they're going to be doing, how they can view it, and if they can edit or not. But it's very helpful for people to see what's on the roadmap for each individual group and how they can contribute. So that's what I want to talk about in terms of collaboration. If you have any comments or things that have worked at your organization, please share them in the comments, and I'd love to continue this conversation. Thank you. Bye.